Hey, what's up, everybody, and welcome to the 4th episode of Animation Super Basics. This episode, we're going to be talking about the Puppet Pen Tool. This one's going to be pretty short. There's really not much to cover. Yeah, so we're just going to be pointing out basically what you can do with the Puppet Pen Tool and a little bit about how it works and all that. All right, so just a quick little example or some examples of how I've used the Puppet Pen Tool. If you've seen our parallaxing with NASA photos, you'll know that we have used it there to kind of create some motion in Mr. John Young. I also used it in this animation that I did for a video game streamer for the wings kind of coming out. You can see here. Name redacted because this person actually didn't pay me for my work, so I would rather not give him any name recognition. But yeah. So you can see how the wings kind of like unfold, like poof out and come back, So yeah, I used it for that. And that was a pretty cool use for it. But I think the coolest thing that I've used it for is this. Now, keep in mind, before you watch this, that your mind may be blown at the sheer awesomeness. But this is Jerry. All right, so let's see what Jerry's all about. Jerry is a dancing machine. Yeah, you get it, Jerry. Go for it. Go for it. We're all about education here. So here is a little tidbit of history for you. There was a time back in the ancient days when dinosaurs ruled the internet that something like this would be an internet sensation. All right. Can you believe it? I mean, there were just Jerrys everywhere. So let's get started with this. Actually, before I get started, I want to mention this video that I just watched recently by the channel Flipped Normals. If you haven't checked them out, if you don't know who they are, do yourself a favor and do so. This channel, they're really good at teaching things, but it's not just the basics, but also fundamentals. And actually this video talks about the difference between the two and the importance of both of them and how you can't really have one over the other. And it's a really great video. I'm going to leave a link in the description. And yeah, it's Flipped Normals. Go check that video out. Especially if you're a new artist or just any kind of artist. And the information in it applies to all artists, musicians, 3D artists, painters, everything like that. I think it's a really great video that you should check out. All right, so let's jump right into the Puppet Pen Tool. So to activate it, we can go up here, and this is our Puppet Pen Tool. And we can create a point. So we can move these points around like so. We don't want that. We want to add some more resolution here. I like to put, especially on like characters and stuff like that, I like to put the pins right where the joints would be. I mean, it's not that I like doing it. It's that you should, because that's where things move. For stuff like heads and stuff like that, stuff you don't want deformed, you can just kind of encircle it with a bunch of points. And when you move them, make sure you select all 4 and you can move it around. Let's create some more points here. Now, when I move his hips, you'll notice that his legs swing around with it. Whoa. What you also want to do for parts that you don't want to move, you want to pin them right at the bottoms here. So now when I grab this point, his little feet stay on the ground. So we can add some knees. Let's add some knees. Now you notice if we hit U that it has automatically created keyframes here, right at the beginning. And if we go under Puppet, we have Puppet Engine. It's set to advanced by default. And there's also Legacy. I don't see the point in using Legacy. Legacy is like the old version. All right. So Mesh Rotation Refinement is kind of almost like an ease for the curve. You know, the lower the number, the sharper the curve. So what this is doing is this is actually creating a mesh that you are deforming. So when you move this point, you're actually deforming a mesh across this whole thing. And we have a density right here. And the lower the number, the lower the resolution of the mesh, and you actually get more rigid movement rather than a bendy curve. All right, so that is basically the Puppet Pin tool. That's pretty much mostly what you're gonna need to know. So we also have a pin type, and we can set this to starch. Now, when I move this point, you'll notice that this point also moves with it, but you also can't move it by itself. That's basically just kind of, if you want more of a straighter line, this is getting nutty. You can set it to that. You have advanced over here, which you can set to position. Let's do this. Let's find Mr. Chest Puppet or Chest Pin here. Set it to advanced. You can rotate it. You can see what that's doing. So I've mainly used the Puppet Pin tool for like character animation and stuff like that. Set that back to position. So let's see what we can do and just how easy it is to manipulate these little points. Let's close all these. All right, so we're at the first frame here. So what we're going to do is we're going to take this point, we're going to move it up. This point, move it down. This point, we're going to move up, and this point down. And little hippies. Yeah, we'll put it that way. Then we can come over to 12 frames here and push it that way, and this one down, this one up. Move that up. And then we can take these keyframes here, select these, and we can copy them and just kind of like paste them. There you go. Now you have your dancing Jerry. Paste that in there, move that to the last frame. And now you have a looping dancing Jerry. How about that? So something else you can do here, we can select all of these keyframes and we can hit F9. And as you remember, that easy eases them. And we can even easy ease these keyframes. All right, so that's basically it for the Puppet Pin tool. As I said, it's going to be a short one. I think that we kind of covered all the basic tools that you're going to need within After Effects to create animations, or at least to get started. And next week we're going to be start talking about the fundamentals of, different types of movement that you want to create to add more life to your animations. Next week we're going to be talking about squash and stretch. So that's going to be a fun one. All right, and I'll see you guys next time.